make sure you're subscribed to JerCrispy.
It begin to look like Christmas everywhere you go. When up behind the tent and the wind is glistening, it's beginning to look like Christmas. Alright, what's up, y'all? Shows most does most. JerCrispy, welcome back to that video. Well, yeah, it's the time of the year, Christmas. Who don't love Christmas? The month of December, It's the 5th. It's Friday. Christmas movies that you'll never see cancel good. Dang. Why we can't see the Christmas movie? Christmas movie that you'll never see canceled good. Like that low key, bro. Like, how you know I didn't want to watch these movies? But let's see though.
Christmas has such a feeling,
On order
nostalgia,
500.
and of course, a bunch of movies and TV
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You already know we're on that road to that 5 to the 100.
that focus on the holly jolly season. Well, what if I told you that there are some incredibly notable Christmas movies and specials that have gone unmade or, in some cases, finished but unreleased? Well, those are the movies we'll be discussing today as we break down the Christmas movies you'll never see.
All right. Deadpool, say Christmas. Why we ain't getting this?
The year was 2017, and Deadpool 2 was deep in production. During the film's shoot, Ryan Reynolds and the series writers, Brett Reese and Paul Wernick, in secret wrote a Deadpool Christmas movie. They wanted to market this movie as a fake project called Alpha Cop, with the audience only learning that it was a Deadpool movie when they were seated in the theater. After 5 minutes, the Marvel logo would appear and the film's title would be revealed: Christmas Saves Deadpool. To that end, there's even an Alpha Cop poster in Deadpool 2 as an Easter egg. After the release of Deadpool 2 and its Christmas-themed re-edit, Once Upon a Deadpool, the film's development rolled on, with the full intention that this Christmas story would become the proper third Deadpool movie produced at 20th Century Fox. Over the years, tidbits about the film's plot would be revealed, with Reynolds revealing in 2020...
Man, that would have actually been hard, getting a Deadpool movie. Christmas Save Deadpool, bruh. Low-key, that would be lit, though.
One, that it would have been a road trip movie with Deadpool and Logan. In 2022, we learned that the movie would have been Christmas-themed. And in 2023, Dopinder's actor, Karan Soni, would reveal some notable details about this incarnation of the movie, but most notably, that the plot was going to be originally a road trip movie where Deadpool tries to save Christmas, so we all go to the North Pole. The implication is that the regular Deadpool supporting cast, like Dopinder and Vanessa and Colossus, may have been with Logan and Wade in their trek to the North Pole. But like Gambit, The New Mutants Brazil, New Mutants Inferno, and all of the other Marvel movies in development at 20th Century Fox at the time, Disney's acquisition of the company threw a wrench into those plans, sinking the movie. But who knows, with Deadpool and Wolverine leaving the characters together, free to go on more adventures, maybe we could see these characters reunite in the future for their holiday road trip.
Might get it. Scooby-Doo Holiday Hunt.
The year was 2021. In an interview with comicbookmovie.com, the director of Scoob stated that they were working on a follow-up, and noted that it hasn't been announced yet, but it's something we're all excited about. The whole creative team that made the first movie is still around and back working on something new. At the end of the year, we get our first look at the film.
You think they actually gonna do this, or they just gonna keep it shut good and not bring it back?
In an HBO Max sizzle reel, revealing 3 key points: the film's title, Scoob Holiday Haunt, the fact that it would be a prequel, and the fact that it would be a direct-to-HBO Max movie. One of the film's co-directors, Michael Korinsky, would describe it as a Chris mystery in a July 2022 interview with YouTube channel JB and Millie, pitching the movie as Knives Out for kids. The film was set to take place a few short weeks after the opening Halloween sequence in Scoob, just 3 days before Christmas, where the gang would travel to a holiday-themed resort owned by Fred's uncle, Ned. The gang would quickly get sucked into their very first mystery, Need to Save the Resort, and show Scooby the true meaning of Christmas. The main monster villain was set to be Krampus, though just exactly how he factored into the plot is currently unknown. But none of this was meant to be. On August 2nd, 2022, Warner Brothers Discovery canceled the film's release. In a call
Disney, Warner Brothers, what are y'all problems, bro? Why y'all be scrapping these stuff up, man? Damn, man. Like, y'all love us? Y'all love us, audience? Damn.
cost-cutting measure and realignment of their content strategy for HBO Max. By
Jokes.
Karinsky's estimate, the film was 95% completed at that point, though he and co-director Bill Haller were ordered to finish the film knowing that it wouldn't see a legitimate release. The reason we were able to finish this movie is because it was already paid for. I can't say it was Warner Brothers saying, please finish the movie, we want you to. I think it was more like, finish the movie because we paid to finish the movie. This film is by all accounts finished. It's been scored and even screened for the cast. Though, since Warner Brothers took a tax write-off on the project when it was canceled, they can't monetize its release in any way. So while this movie may see some sort of release one day, it's highly likely that it wouldn't be through legitimate means.
Damn. And Teen Toy Christmas.
The year was 1989, and Pixar was making waves in the computer animation industry. After coming off an Oscar win for their short film, Tin Toy, the studio began to explore how they could expand their work and create a television special. They saw a 30-minute special as a nice stepping stone before they eventually created a full theatrical movie. So the team decided to return to the world of Tin Toy for a Christmas special. To quote Pixar legend Andrew Stanton, initially, we had a Rip Van Winkle story. Mr. Merkel's
I think I saw this clip. Nah, this not old. They showed it in the reclip on one of the movies. It was like a little short Christmas thing. They did something like that. I remember that.
Toy store had to close, so he boxes up some toys, one of which would be Tinny. They'd be put in an attic, years would go by, Tinny would come out, and find the shop had turned into this Toys R Us type store. As it turns out, Tinny was actually only one piece of a set of tin toys that performed music, so he sets off in search of his friends. Along the way, he'd encounter a junk man, a ventriloquist dummy, and eventually he'd reunite with his band, presumably learning something about the true meaning of Christmas along the way. Pixar would shop the special around to television networks, and despite everybody loving the story, the cost to make the project was prohibitively expensive, and nobody was willing to fund it, so the special would be shelved. That is until the studio was approached in late 1990 by Disney, who wanted the studio to produce a feature film. The heads of Pixar floated the idea of first doing a Tin Toy Christmas as a way to gain experience before expanding into a full movie. But Jeffrey Katzenberg, the then chairman of Walt Disney Studios, reasoned that if Pixar was going to staff up and put the infrastructure in place to make a 30-minute special, they might as well just make a full film. So Pixar decided to extrapolate the plot of Tin Toy Christmas into a feature-length film that, after countless changes and evolutions, was released in 1995 under a different name, Toy Story. Tinny became Buzz Lightyear, the ventriloquist dummy became Woody, and the rest is history.
Damn. Escape the Class.
The year was 2000. That July, Variety broke the news that Disney was working
on... Hey, y'all wonder if they actually gonna make a sequel of Grandma getting ran over by a reindeer? Grandma got ran over by a reindeer when she was rocking home on Christmas Eve. You can't say there's no such thing as Santa Claus. As me and Grandpa, we actually see
a then untitled sequel to The Santa Claus, set to be written by Don Reimer, targeting a November 2001 release. The sequel was set to pick up 5 years after the original and focus on the North Pole operating at maximum efficiency until Santa is confronted with the challenge of balancing work and personal life. Later that year, Disney released the first teaser for the movie, which was merely a simple edit of the original film's teaser with two notable notable differences: the narration and the title card at the end, revealing the title The Santa Claus 2: The Escape Clause. While never being directly confirmed, it is highly likely that this was the title of Reimer's version of the film. But this title would be short-lived. In April of 2001, Variety reported that Disney brought on a new writing duo to take a pass at the project, which they would describe as a fresh start, revealing that their version centers on Santa leaving the North Pole to go on a quest, and that Tim Allen would play dual roles. Also noted was the fact that Disney was now hoping to film the movie in November of 2001. This story would go on to become the Santa Claus 2 that released, and the escape clause would go on to be used as the...
Oh, I saw this. Yeah, I think I always skip it, but we're gonna watch it. Damn, that nigga thumb big as a bit.
subtitle for the Santa Claus 3. Though it is worth noting that despite being credited as a writer on Part 2, Reimer isn't credited as a writer on the threequel. So at this point, just how much of his version of the escape clause that saw Santa having trouble balancing his work and personal life influenced the released version of the escape clause, where Santa is having trouble balancing his work and his personal life, we can only speculate.
It's a Wonderful Life.
The year was 2013. That November, The Hollywood Reporter reported that It's a Wonderful Life was set for a sequel called It's a Wonderful Life: The Rest of the Story, targeting a 2015 release. The film was set to be produced by Alan J. Schwab and Bob Farnsworth, the latter of whom cracked the film's story, which centered on George Bailey's grandson being visited by his guardian angel, Aunt Zuzu, to show him how much better the world would be if he hadn't been born. Farnsworth described the film as a mix of the original and A Christmas Carol, two stories that he believed were both in the public domain. The team even went as far to sign Zuzu's original actress, Carolyn Grimes, to reprise her role. Despite the news breaking in 2013, as noted in a 2010 interview with Farnsworth, the movie had actually been in development for many years. In that same interview, a poster for the film could be seen bearing a Christmas 2011 release date. The film even had a concept trailer produced, revealing the basic plot and the intention to not just bring back Carolyn Grimes, but also the actors for Jamie and Tommy. Additionally, the trailer revealed that the film would have some sort of 3D release as well. Just 2 days after this announcement, Paramount claimed that the project hadn't obtained the sequel rights to the film. According to Variety, who reported on this news, Paramount owns the copyright as a result of owning the rights to The Greatest Gift, the story that the original It's a Wonderful Life was based on. However, Farnsworth believed that the team was fully within their rights to move forward with the project, and that if they somehow weren't, they'd be able to resolve any disputes. In the following years, Farnsworth would keep fans updated on the status of the project via the YouTube comment section of his interview, with his latest, most substantial update as of the time of writing, when asked if there were any updates, being, unfortunately, no. There's an issue with the family that wrote the original story, The Gift, though many adaptations in book form have already been published.
You know, that's crazy. Most of the Christmas carols, they really be showing these people, like, what they did bad. Like Scrooge McDuck, bro. Like, he was just being mean to Mickey and Donald. For some reason, I don't know why to this day, how that nigga Mickey was the most brokest nigga. And he the head face of Disney. But hey, you know, you gotta have a good story with it, have a good things. You know, Mickey was on a lot of things. He was a knight. He was broke at one point for Christmas. I mean, he was doing a lot of things, I guess. I mean, mid-class and
While I deeply admire Farnsworth's commitment to getting his movie made, despite the project not necessarily being cancelled yet, I'm doubtful that it will ever actually see release. Though I would love to be proven wrong, as this story sounds like a bold swing.
now, this is 50-50 with wanting this movie to come out. It's a low guarantee we might just get an Elf 2. Elf 1 was actually pretty good, but I don't know, saying some scenes, it was just annoying for no reason. And I just be wondering how at the end he end up getting that girl. But hey, I don't know. Hey, he might just got it like that. Let's see though.
The year was 2003. Elf would release and go on to become a beloved Christmas classic. In 2005, Variety would report that New Line Cinema had commissioned a script for an Elf sequel, but there was one small problem. Will Ferrell hadn't signed on to it yet. The full story of Elf 2 is so crazy that it needs its own video, which should be on your screen right now. But until next time, Merry...
Alright, alright, y'all. If y'all run this up, we'll watch their Elf 2. So, just the summer and shit like that. Oh, yeah, and all that other stuff, So, winner of the 500. I'm out. Love y'all, ladies and gentlemen. And please do not fake your videos. Do not be anything trying to do clicks for views, bro. Watch out for them people. Don't let me get to the top, cause I'm gonna expose some of y'all fake clips people on this YouTube stuff. All right now, 500. See ya.